Human mind works in two simple ways: the words that you speak to yourself and the pictures that you see in your head. When you change the words, the pictures change. When the pictures change, your life changes.
Welcome to yet another episode of Behan Code with me, Filoni Kanani. And today's episode, I want to start with a very simple question. How many of us get a second chance in life? I don't think all of us are privileged enough, and I really want you to think about this while I introduce you to my guest for today, Miss Naheed Khan. Naheed is the CEO and co-founder of FutureWith. She's a neuro-linguistic practitioner and she's based out of Dubai. And she's on the show to discuss a topic that is really very close to my heart. So, Naheed, firstly, before I introduce the topic and I open the conversation, welcome on Behan Code. Thank you so very much for being here and agreeing to, have this conversation.
Thank you so much, Filoni, for having me here. And it was not about agreement. It was about me being here was meant to happen, because the purpose that you stand for, the mission that you are going ahead with, is something which is even very close to my heart.
Right.
Maybe I've not lived this, but I have lived in a society where I see everybody, almost everybody, living it. And
Okay.
I've worked closely with people who are going through it. I've worked as in when I was a professional and I was working in the corporate sector then. And now as a coach, I work with so many ladies who come to me with this. So not just this, but there are so many issues. I mean, I believe we women who are supposed to be the powerhouses are kept to believe or made to believe that we need someone else's power to feel powerful. And you believe me, Filoni, the power inside a woman is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Just we are kept away from it.
That's very true. And I kind of agree with everything that you're saying. And before, again, I introduce the topic, I want to say just one thing. I remember our introductory conversation. And the thing that I told you was, why did I not meet you when I was in Dubai? Things would have been way more different. And So without building any more suspense, I'm going to quickly introduce the topic. So today we're going to talk about how does a woman survive if she's in an abusive relationship. Like, imagine you're living with your partner and he's cheating on you. Not all of us have the second chance in life, not all of us have the privilege to walk out of the marriage and say that, hey, you know what, you're cheating on me, I'm going to walk out. Hey, you know what, domestic violence, I'm going to walk out and this is not done. No, because some of us are not financially independent. Some of us are not emotionally independent. We do not have the courage. We do not have the support system that we need. We do not have the money that we need. There are so many hiccups. And some of us do have that. And some of us do not have that, but still have the courage to walk out and be like, okay, fine, I'm just going to walk out and see how things work out and we'll take it from there. But being at a point where you do not have anything and reaching the point where you're like, okay, even if I do not have anything, I'm just going to walk out and I'm going to figure it out for myself, takes a lot of courage. So how do you survive and thrive in that phase where you have decided that, okay, I want to walk out, and the day you walk out? So that's what Naheed and I are going to have a conversation about. So yeah, Naheed, I remember a friend of mine went through a divorce because her husband was cheating on her. She was educated and still she kept on putting up with this because, one, she was too scared to walk out of the marriage because log kya kahenge, are iska to divorce ho gaya. And second, she did not have the job. So she did not have the confidence that, okay, even if I walk out, how are things going to work out? I don't know where I'm going to stay. I don't know how the finances are going to be taken care of. So these were the things that held her back. And today, of course, she's doing really well for herself. But I've seen that struggle of hers, and which is why I'm very, passionate about this topic. So Over to you, Nahid.
I can tell you, talk to you on this aspect on this topic from two aspects. One, let me talk to you as a woman and the society that we come from. Uh, we are always told that we need the support of our father, of our brother, and then later on of our husband for security reasons, for safety reasons, for being complete, for being respected, for being honored. So when we see ourselves away or detached or separated from these who complete our identity, we see ourselves as incomplete, whether it is our father or brother or a husband, whoever it is. If you see yourself away from them, we see ourselves as incomplete. And that is a very, very big scare for anybody. Anybody. Even if today, if I see myself as incomplete, that will scare me, should scare me. So that is one thing which comes, and as a woman, I've seen that in my society. I was made to believe that too. I was in the same tradition. I was in the same culture. I come from India. I know what it is, and nothing is right or wrong. I will not call this wrong because that is as per the perceptions and opinions of people who've lived that tradition, who've brought it down.
Right.
So it's not about who's right and who's wrong. They are right in their own way. But is their right according to me is what I should question. And I didn't feel that it was right according to me. And hence, at the age of 15, I started turning my face away from everything that I did not agree with. Right from my education, right from the one that I'd like to get married to. I had an arranged marriage, but to the person that I wanted to get married to, even if that meant I had to wait till 32 for an arranged marriage. My parents had a very, very tough time finding a guy for me because, after 28, you don't have arranged marriages. I had an arranged marriage at the age of 32. And it's with a guy whom I could never go out and find on my own. So how do you take the traditions which are there for you? Do you take them as a limitation or do you take them as something which can create possibilities for you? Here I talk to you on the second aspect, which is from the professional aspect. Me being a neurolinguistic programmer, I understand how the mind functions. And when I understand that, what I can tell you is that all of these traditions, these values, these cultures, they're right. But what they do to us is they create this program which is full of limitations, of blocks, of obstacles, and everything that can stop us from moving out. Humans anyways don't like to get out of their comfort zone. So we have that affinity to our comfort zone. And then when we are talking about
the status quo.
Absolutely. We love to be, safe zone mein hai bhai. Pata hai kya karna hai. Extra efforts to find out what I need to do. Why should I do that? When I know what I can do and what I should do. What I should go out and find out what more can I do. So don't need to. So we go ahead with the same programs that have been there for generations without questioning. It's like you've bought an iMac, a MacBook, and iske andar aapne DOS system lagaya hua hai. It's as simple as that. This is the outlook of today's women. And if I am still working on those same values and traditions, then I'm working on DOS. So it's just that. The human operating system, which is our brain, keeps on upgrading. And that is why we get education. That is why we get exposure. That is why we are today getting the opportunity to work. But if I am not upgrading myself with it, my system's upgrading, but my apps have not been upgraded. So when my apps don't get upgraded, what information will I get on my system? It's the same old DOS program which I'm running. So everybody else is looking at all the different apps which are available to them. And I'm looking at DOS, जिसमें मेरे को program डालना पड़ता है, and वो और कुछ नहीं देता है, मुझे बहुत boring सा एक screen, black screen देता है. So in that case, what choices do women have?
Right.
Do they explore? Do they go out and look what more is happening? When they do that, they see themselves, the ones who do that, they see themselves, mere andar to kuch bhi nahi hai. These women have so much. They have the confidence, they have the education, they have the qualification, they have the courage. I don't have it. I don't have it. Who told you you don't have it? You are telling it to yourself that you don't have it. There is nobody in this world who can come and tell you what courage you have or confidence you have accepting for yourself. So if somebody in there, is coming and telling you that Saloni, you lack courage, that's because Saloni told herself that I am not courageous, and the others can see it. And that's why they come and tell you. So if you are stuck in a place and you are saying that, that we don't have the courage and we don't have the opportunities, well, that's your opinion to your own self, your programs to your own self, which you're feeding in your mind. The human function is all controlled by the mind, and the mind is controlled by our words and our thoughts. When we say, I'm not strong enough, I cannot have the image of a strong woman. And when I cannot have this image of a strong woman, when I see in my mind's eye, I see myself as a weak woman, I'll do everything to stay a weak woman. That's what is happening all over. And it's not just in one part of the world, it's all over the world. Women see themselves as weak most of the time. Women are the ones who suffer from imposter syndrome the most.
Right.
Women are the ones who have anxiety issues the most, stress issues the most. Why? Because it's we are all equal. Okay, God created us equal. And if I go to speak from the behavior science model and everything, all of us are same but different, because we all have something unique in us which makes us different from each other. But what we do is we see the different in the other and we feel, oh my God, that person has so much, I have nothing. When you see nothing, you'll have nothing. Like you said when you were introducing this topic, that I can't do anything. What is this anything? Number one, and who defined it? It's you who's defining it.
True.
It's you who's defining it. Because if you say that you can't do anything, what have you been doing till today? You've been doing something, right?
True.
And even when you're doing nothing or you can't do anything, you're still doing something. You're making the choice of not doing anything about changing things. That choice is yours. You've chosen that. What the society says, or my parents say, or my parents will not stand with me, or this person will not be there with me, all of this, you are saying it to yourself. You know it more, even better than me, that when you step out, when you take the step, and when you stand tall, everybody agrees with you. The whole world agrees with you. Till the time you are weak, nobody stands with a weak person. People stand with strong people.
That's so true.
But there will be nobody to help you become that strong person. You have to do it all on your own.
Yeah, this kind of validates that the world sees you the way you see yourself.
Absolutely, it always does. So if you see yourself as the one who's helpless, everybody will see you the same way. And if you see yourself as the one who can help herself, well, people will come to you. They'll flock to you.
Right. So, Nahid, taking this conversation a step ahead, let's talk about a woman who's stuck in an abusive relationship. She's being cheated on, or, there's domestic violence, like her husband's hitting her every day, or maybe, the in-laws are like very nasty. They keep saying shit to her. And, we generally tend to believe what people tell us, there is a limit to which you can stop them, right? And you reach a point where you're like, okay, they're just going to continue. They're just going to be mean. And what this does to you is you keep beating yourself up. You accept what they're saying and you keep beating yourself up. If he's cheated on you, you think that you are not good enough, which is not the case, right? If he's, hitting you physically, you're like, yeah, I must have done something wrong. I think I deserved to be punished. So he has all the right to hit me. We just accept whatever people give us.
No, you don't
the good,
accept
the
that.
bad.
You don't accept that.
If I'm this woman, right, exactly, and I've programmed myself to be this, right? So if I'm stuck here in this position, how do I move forward?
All right. First, you have to understand how does and where does these beliefs come from? That I need to accept it, or that I have to accept it, or that, I should accept it. Where does this belief come from? As I was talking about that, we are programmed to believe that we need the presence of a man to feel complete. Yes, we do, but in a good sense. In a sense where two people complete each other. They become part of a whole. Each one is a part of a whole. It's not that one is a weaker sect or weaker part and the other part. If one is weak, anyways, the foundation's weak. They both have to be strong for the structure of marriage or institution of marriage or relationship or whatever it is that is. To a weak person and a strong person, we can be emotionally weak. We can be emotionally weak. There are some people who are more emotional than others. That's okay. And then they balance each other up. Where I get too emotional, my husband stands up for me. When my husband gets too practical, I stand up for him that, you need the emotional side. You need to fill that balance up. But what happens here is that when I talk about programming, it's not just about these fears. Okay, now these fears which basically become the reason why you stay inside a marriage. Why do you stay? Even if you're being abused, what makes you stay there? We feel that I love this person so much, I can't leave him and go. That is one reason, one major reason which women have. Well, in that case, what you've just validated is that you don't love yourself. So you can go down and be trampled upon just because you love somebody. That means you don't love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, nobody in this world will love you ever. They will only use you. They will only take advantage of you. So the first thing that if you really want to love somebody, why do you think in the aeroplanes they say that first put the mask on yourself, breathe, and then put it on your, anybody else, then help your passengers or fellow passengers, or even for that matter, even to a mother, it is said, put it on your face first and then help your child. Because if you are unable to breathe, you will kill two people. But if you have been able to breathe, you might save the other one. So it's as simple as that. If you don't save yourself, you cannot save anything, neither your marriage or your relationship or your happiness or your life or your career, nothing. Now in this, say for example, in the case of your friend, when she was going on and enduring, like what you've told me, what made her endure that? She thought she has nothing. What made her say that? She had herself. She had her courage. She had her determination. In the end, she went out with nothing, right? But to get to that point of I can live without nothing, she had to endure 2.5 years.
Yeah.
The brain says, if you give it too much of something, it says I've had enough. And that's when there are two chances. If, when you put a pressure on things, you have two options. Either you collapse or you push back. Choice is yours. Now this choice, how do we make it? People say that, because I come from a family like this, I'm programmed like this. I come from a family where women don't, they don't stand up and rebel, I should say. I rebelled. Yeah. I didn't think I needed to follow the traditions. I didn't think so. And because nobody had spoken till today, it was taken for granted that things will be like this. When I spoke up, okay, there was resistance because of course I was talking about breaking hundreds and years of traditions. But that resistance today changed everything. At that time there was resistance because it was a new thing, but slowly and gradually they accepted the change. And today the whole tradition has changed. There is no longer the same tradition that I come from. The whole tradition has changed. The whole culture has changed. That society that I used to dread, I love it today because they talk about, girls going out to study and becoming, doctors and forensic scientists and awesome things happening out there. But that one change, the first step, you have to take it. So even if you've been programmed to believe all that bullshit about you not being enough, you not being good enough, you're not being strong enough, you don't have qualifications, you don't have the courage or the presentation or the skills or the competencies, that's not your reality. That is not your reality. These are just opinions. Your reality is what you choose to live. So if you choose to live these opinions, they become your reality. But if you choose to stand up and say that I will create my own reality, then that starts the
change. Wow. So then how do we move ahead? Like what are the three things maybe that I can do to bring about that change in myself? Like how do I tell myself that, hey, you know what? Even if no one's got your back, I've got you. I'm going to do this to make you feel empowered so that we are able to get out of this. how do I reach to that point?
The first mistake that girls or women, or and I'm also part of this, I also did this, we don't reach out and speak. We don't reach
We
out
don't.
and seek help. We sulk, we complain, we break down, we go into depression, we'll do all of those things,
We
but we will
isolate
not
ourselves,
sit down.
but we will not
Yes,
seek help.
we will not seek help, we will not talk to somebody, and if we do talk to somebody, we will talk to the person who will tell us it's okay, it happens like this, because again, that is inside the comfort zone. She's not telling me to do anything that was drastic, but if I do seek out help, I do reach out to somebody, it can be a coach, it can be a friend, it can be a business associate, it can be a neighbor, it can be anything, whom if you don't want it to be somebody from the known circle, there are n number of such organizations who help women, who are dealing with such situations, and these are all anonymous. You will not be brought out, your name will not be brought out, but you will get all the help. There are so many such associations and organizations all over the world. I'm working with Thrive with Mentoring, and this is what we are doing out there. We are helping women who come from such backgrounds or have such kind of a history or have faced discrimination or some kind of any, there's lots, like we have professionals, we have housewives, we have different types of women, and we provide them mentoring and restart your life. What are the issues that you're facing? What are the issues that you're dealing with? I coach women on imposter syndrome, how to get over imposter syndrome. How do you get out of it? Because what is imposter syndrome? When you feel that, if you're getting an achievement or accolade for something and you sit, I don't think I deserve it. That's because you feel that you're not enough.
Exactly.
And that's every time somebody says that you've done such a great job and you're like, no, I don't think so. It's just something which has come out. Why do you say that to yourself? Why do you take away the glory from yourself?
True.
Accept it, bask in it. So reach out for help is number one, which I would say. Number two, no matter what, even if it is sitting and making a video and posting it or writing a simple blog or anything, do something. Don't be a nobody, be a somebody. Even if that means, just speaking about, maybe you're good at cooking and you're doing something, you're baking something, post a video, put it out there, let people see it, write a recipe, post it. Today, because of technology, we have so much of opportunities and possibilities. Earlier, this was not there with women. They actually had to step out of their house and do it. Today, you can sit in your house. You're not allowed to step out. You don't need to. Switch on your laptop. Just pick up your phone. And that's it. The world is at your fingertips. So just get out there. Get your voice out there. You don't have to come and speak about your problems. You don't have to come and speak about whatever is going on with your life. Speak about what you can do, what you'd like to do. You'd like to offer some kind of courses, some kind of training. You'd like to just talk about your hobby. Share the music that you enjoy listening to. Come out there and just share that, I was listening to this song and it has got such amazing and beautiful lyrics. Just put it out there. Just do something. Seek help. Do something. Please do not take away your identity to be somebody's wife or somebody's daughter. You're more than that. Give your identity the chance to come out. And third thing is that the courage that you seek is always here. It's never outside. And whatever people say, I will tell you a trick. Do this. I know people will say this is ridiculous, but believe me, all my clients who've done this, and especially women, have been able to handle stress in their life much, much better. Put filters here. Just take your hands and imagine that you're holding filters in your hand and put it here. The reason I'm telling you this is the subconscious understands motor functions. All right. So when you're saying that I'm putting filters here, as per your subconscious, you've put filters here. So now, and I am not going to listen to anybody's crap. Anybody who's speaking crap hits the filter, goes away, doesn't come inside my ear. All right. So what you're doing is you're giving post-hypnotic suggestions to your mind to keep away all the bullshit out of your head, your ears, your life. It adds to it slowly and gradually, you will see your confidence rising. You will see courage rising inside of you. Just do this. Just take your hands and say, I'm putting the filters here. These are filters to keep away any negative talk, any negative comment, any negative feedback, anything which is negative out of my head, out of my life. It just hits the filters and goes away. Do this and just see the transformation.
Wow, that is brilliant. And what are the kind of changes that you've seen when your clients have applied this?
Oh, one of my clients, she's in fact today, she's just messaged me. She wants me to speak at the Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce, Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, because she was an autoimmune disease patient. All right, and she was in completely broken, shattered, because of course her disease was as such. She had a daughter that she had to take care of, and at the same time she could not sleep, full of stress. She was a businesswoman who had to give up all her work and everything because of course she was not well. When she came to me, believe me, Filoni, for two sessions she only cried, and I let her because there was so much inside her. She had
Yeah.
to take it all out. She did that. 2 sessions, she cried and she spoke. She spoke and she cried. She took it all out. The second session, I told her to put the filters on. And it made such a huge difference to her that the third time when she came to me, she was like, I can listen now. I can listen to my own voice. And we had
Wow.
another 2 sessions, and this was 3 years back. And today she's got a thriving business. She's one of the I think the core members of Wiki, and she's doing so much. And I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. She keeps coming back to me. Even today we spoke. I mean, and she keeps on telling me that, you know what, this is the change which has happened in my life. She's just been growing and growing and growing and growing. And the start was just the filters.
Amazing. Which is, I always tell you that, I really wish I had met you a couple of years ago. My life would have been different. This is amazing. Like, if we're saying that, hey, listen, you're not dependent on anybody. Okay.
Nope.
And two, we're saying that even if you've got nobody around you, you've got yourself. Be your own best friend.
The most important person in your life is you yourself.
Right, exactly. And you do not need anybody if you are just there for yourself, right? And I can tell that this is the truth. Like, you really don't need anybody. So there's this saying that success has many fathers, but failure is I don't want to say, doesn't have a father. Like, the minute you're successful, oh, that is because of me. Oh, that I only suggested her. This I told her to do, इसलिए ऐसे हुआ. The minute you fail, मैंने बोला ही था इसको, ये नहीं करना चाहिए. इसकी होशियारी थी. She went ahead.
Exactly.
Nobody, not one person.
What does it matter? दुनिया क्या बोल रहा है? क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
True.
दुनिया क्या आपको आके खिला रहा है? नहीं खिला रहा है ना? क्या दुनिया आके आपके आंसू पोंछ रहा है? नहीं पोंछ रहा है ना? क्या दुनिया आके आपके लिए आपका जिंदगी का एक भी पल जी रहा है?
Not at all. Not at all. There's nobody to pay your bills. Nobody will ask you if you have money. Nobody will ask you even if you're doing okay, you're alive, you're dead. They do not care.
They do not care. So let them enjoy with their words. आपको कमेंट्स की पार्टी करनी है, करो. जितना आपको अपना ओपिनियन
देना है. And we need to have our filters on.
Filters, number one. And number two, you touched on a very important point, Filoni, that we don't need anybody. We should not be dependent on anybody excepting ourselves. Now, यहाँ पे I have worked with women who come and say that I have never worked in my life. I have never done a job in my life. So how can I get out? How can I, start now? There are women who've started at the age of 50, started at the age of 60, sitting, they've been thrown out of their house because एक कमजोर इंसान को ना लोग सिर्फ दबाना जानते हैं. And आपको जितना आप allow करोगे, आपको सिर्फ दबाया जाएगा. So the only person who's the loser is you. The only person who's going to get hurt is you. And the only person who's being crushed to death is you. आप जिंदा हो, लेकिन आप सिर्फ सांस ले रहे हो. आप मर चुके हो अंदर. You want to live a life like that, or you want to take that chance? आपके अंदर हुनर है. It's just that your whole life you have seen everybody else but yourself. Every single individual who's born on this planet is born with particular skills, particular talents, particular capabilities. And I can vouch for this. I have worked with more than 20,000 people till now in my last 17 years of experience. And I have never found one person who did not have a talent. सिर्फ थोड़ा सा काम करने की जरूरत पड़ती है. थोड़ा सा अपने अंदर देखना पड़ता है. Once you do that, हर किसी के अंदर कुछ ना कुछ जरूर होता है. कुछ नहीं, even if you are doing, even if somebody is doing stitching, that's a talent. आप क्या बना सकते हो? If you let your imagination out, if you just start, अरे एक सिंपल सा फ्रॉक ही सिलो, बट सिलो. आपको कढ़ाई आती है ना? How many things can you create with just your fingers, with just your hands? And just there's no stopping you. आपको किसी की जरूरत नहीं. आपने जिंदगी में कभी नहीं किया, no problem. Today is the first day of your life.
That's so true. And
Start
there's
it.
this quote from Mel Robbins. I'm sorry, but this is actually what you're saying. She says that do unto yourself what you do to others. Like imagine that your best friend is going through shit and she comes to you. You'll be like, it's okay, you restart. तुम होती है गलतियाँ, तुम ये करो, कोई बात नहीं, ये वो. But if you make that mistake, what do you do to yourself? You beat yourself up.
Exactly.
Right? But when it comes to others, you're like such a nice person to them. But then why are you not nice to your own self?
When the first person you should be nice to is yourself.
Exactly. And I think
so you're being a hypocrite, right? You're being a hypocrite. You're telling the other person that you can do this, and you're telling yourself you can't do nothing.
Exactly. So, I mean, and I think it's also a lot of our conditioning, to be honest, that, okay, as a woman, you are a giver, you have to give, you're the nurturer, and you look for others before you look after yourself, So you've seen your moms doing that, first she'll take care of your dad, she'll take care of you and she'll take care of your siblings, and then if she has the time, she'll be like, okay, now I'll dress up, now I'll go to my parlor, now I'll do this for myself, now I'll watch TV because nobody's watching.
Is this a weakness or a strength?
It is a weakness.
It is a strength. Imagine, does anybody in this world has the power to take care of so many people, so many things, be a person who's a nurturer, as well as in some cases a bread provider, be a person who takes care of everybody, as well as make sure that किसी को कभी कोई चीज की कमी नहीं होती है. I mean, there is nobody in this world who can be a better manager than a mother. I have worked in corporates, and I'm telling you that this nurturing capability of women is their strength. You just need to know how to utilize it.
But you need to nurture yourself is my point. If you don't do that, then it's a victim.
That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying, that you need to know how to utilize it. Nurturing is a resource. In our language, in the language of NLP, nurturing is a resource which is like a super powerful resource. And that resource we are all born with. And women have the extra dose of it because, of course, the mothering abilities of women. So if you have an extra dose of it, so imagine you're much more powerful than anybody else.
True.
So if you've been able to give that to everybody, imagine now what happens that when you give it to yourself and then give it to everybody, you will be giving them twice of what you have been giving them till today. So अगर आपने अभी तक उनको जो भी दिया है ना, जब आप पहले अपने को देके उनको जब दोगे, you will be giving them twice of whatever you've been giving them till today. So this is a huge strength. ये कभी भी weakness नहीं है. ये weakness तब बनता है जब आप इसको misutilize करते हो, जब आप इसको सिर्फ दूसरों को दे रहे हो और as a sacrificial lamb आप दे रहे हो. मतलब मैं बलि का बकरा हूँ और मेरी बलि चढ़ा दी गई है और मेरी बलि is for my family. Then it is misutilization.
So true.
You're not a sacrificial lamb. You are a woman who's born with superpowers, super abilities, and this is one of your superpower. You should be proud of it. This should make you feel elated, not deflated.
Right. So true. So to sum it up, first, you do not need anybody. Second, put the filters on. And third, be there for your own self before you are there for others. Because the only person that you need is yourself. And see the magic. Like these things sound so simple when you listen to them, but when you apply them, they're so difficult. But once you do that, see the magic of it.
Your life will change. Your life will
change. Your life. It's the life-changing magic of 1, 2, 3.
So people always think that जिंदगी बदलने के लिए बहुत बड़े चेंज की जरूरत होती है, और मैं आपको बोलती हूँ कि जिंदगी बदलने के लिए ना ये एक छोटी सी चेंज भी बहुत बड़ा काम कर जाती है.
Exactly.
This is our misconception that only big things can create big impacts. I have been working as an NLP practitioner for quite some time now, and I make people do ridiculous stuff. All right. I have cured people of their phobias. Okay. A
Wow.
phobias matlab अच्छे खासे phobias. I'll just give you one simple plain example. And
Sure.
I have proof of that, because that person's written to me again and again, coming back and saying that, I can't believe how this has just disappeared. She has phobias of spiders. वो spiders देखते साथ में ना, देखते तो
Okay.
छोड़ दो. If you tell spiders, she used to climb the stairs.
Okay.
Chair पे चढ़ जाती थी. And I was doing this session with her, and I was like, I asked her about the fear, and she said that spiders. And I'm like, okay, why are you doing this? She said, like, they're creepy. I said, okay, but where are they? कहाँ है spiders? आपके पैर के नीचे है, मेरे मुंह पे है, कहाँ है? No, they are very creepy. I said, okay, I agree with you, they are very creepy, but where are they right now in the room? Anywhere? नहीं है. Then why are you getting scared?
Wow.
Conditioning. Okay, that conditioning कि वो उसको spider बोलते साथ में ये करते हैं हम हमारे साथ में. This is how we build fear. This is how we keep fear within us. So I said, okay, where is that thing which is giving you this kind of a reaction? It was here. Fears are manufactured inside our head. Otherwise, human beings are born with only two natural fears: the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. That's all. और कोई fear नहीं होता है हमारे अंदर, हम manufacture करते हैं. So this was a manufactured one. So this was in the mind. So I did the process of NLP with her, coming down to creating that spider into its that's that itsy bitsy spider wala hai na, the nursery rhyme.
हाँ.
Incy wincy spider climb out the water.
हाँ.
Yeah, so we changed it into that. Abhi aisa hai that the other day she was walking in the woods, and she stays in Sweden, and she was usko वहाँ पे वो flowers थे बहुत, तो she bent to pluck it, and वहाँ पे 3-4 spiders ऐसे ऐसे जा रहे थे. बोली वो जा रहे थे ना, जिंदगी में पहली बार वो spiders को देख के मुस्कुराई, because उसको लगा वो लोग गाना गाते हुए जा रहे, इट्सी बिट्सी spider. And she wrote to me that the fear has, where did it go? I could smile when I looked at a spider instead of screaming and running away, which was my normal reaction.
Wow.
This is a small thing. So itni
We need to change the narrative.
Human mind works in two simple ways: the words that you speak to yourself and the pictures that you see in your head. When you change the words, the pictures change. When the pictures change, your life changes.
Amazing. I love that. I love that. This conversation has been so amazing. And I really don't want you to go, and I want to talk so much. And I think I'm going to do one more episode with you on maybe another topic. But this one for now has been amazing. Thank you so much, Nahid, for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Filoni, for having me for this cause, which I stand with my heart.